What's up, guys? We're the Magoos here, here to talk about
The Dark Universe.
And yeah, the Dark Universe.
Universal's new attempt
Universal's
at cinematic.
new, and how it compares with the classics.
Their Universal
Can't
stuff.
even, but we're
Yeah.
talking about it. I'm Chris.
Brad here.
And I'm Josh.
Alright, Chris. So basically, we're kind of being biased in a sense.
Yeah, we kind of are. So the Mummy just came out. Box office numbers.
Not great, but
Not
it's
tanked.
doing really well overseas.
Honestly,
it's
It's
not
Tom Cruise.
It's not why.
Yeah. And we haven't seen it, and
None of
which
us.
is actually piss poor on our part. We're gonna try and be as unbiased as possible when we talk about this stuff.
Yeah.
Of course, we all appreciate the classics. Me more so. I'm the big super fan when it comes to monster movies. My initial thoughts about the Dark Universe were like, wow, let's see
Deep.
let's see a modern rendition of these timeless classics that have a certain sense and feel to them that nothing can ever top. But from what we've got so far, I don't know what to say. I just think it's not where it needs to be. It's not.
Again, we haven't seen it, but
We haven't seen it, but just
reviews.
from
and
what
stuff.
people have been saying is that the Mummy. First off, I don't think the Mummy was a very good one to start off
No,
with.
definitely not. They should have done they could have done
Well, they tried
Dracula.
with Dracula Untold, but
wasn't
they were
good.
like, let's
not
try
do that.
again, and then now they're like,
They should have done Bride of Frankenstein first, I think. You guys
let's do it again. I don't know what they're gonna do, but no, I don't think the Mummy was a good one to start off with. But from what people have said and from what I've seen through reviews, and I don't even think I'd have to see the movie to understand this, is that it's not where the movie needs to go. It's trying to do this whole Marvel-esque thing where they're trying to make it an action movie and throw comedy in there that's not even witty. I hear that it in no way does it even compare with Brendan Fraser's The Mummy. And that's a popcorn flick, and this movie is trying to be a popcorn flick. It's trying to be serious, but it ends up being a bad popcorn flick. It's just weird.
I know for a fact, though, they were going to originally do what you want, like do a horror film,
Yeah.
have action elements.
And-
It was Cruise, but it was because of Tom Cruise. He wanted it to be more action.
Yeah, and it's just and people say unanimously that Brendan Fraser was such a better protagonist in the Mummy 1999 than Tom Cruise is in this. He's just
He's not very likable.
he's not very likable, and he's
He's
just
a dick. Yeah.
yeah, and also another thing with what I'll get to is that just not Brendan Fraser, but Russell Crowe. I hear he's supposed to be the Nick Fury of this movie, being Dr. Jekyll, and he's just not. He doesn't sell them. If anybody, he's the character that you want to try and sell, and he does not sell it very well.
I think a better character to make your Nick Fury of this universe would be the Phantom of the Opera, behind the curtain, dealing with all the other people.
Maybe I think it should be Dr. Frankenstein
No, Van Helsing.
or Van Helsing. I know all the Universal
I
monsters.
think Van should connect the worlds more.
He should, but
not be-
from the Universal Classic series, Dr. Frankenstein connects the universes. And when you get into Frankenstein meets the Wolfman, House of Dracula, and House of Frankenstein, Dr. Frankenstein is the main protagonist because Lawrence Talbot wants to cure his wolf, the lycanthropy, and he goes to Dr. Frankenstein for that.
Yeah.
So I think that it could have been Dr. Frankenstein, but it's just that Dr. Jekyll,
think
which is
it's
an interesting concept,
Yeah.
and I really wanted it to work.
They're trying to do something different. They don't want to.
Yeah, and which is I want them to do. And another thing is that they called it The Mummy.
The Mummy.
What the fuck? People are gonna search The Mummy, and it's like what happened with Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
People are gonna search Ghostbusters, and they're gonna get utter shit. And this is what's gonna happen with this movie. People are gonna search The Mummy. They're not gonna get the masterpiece that Boris Karloff and Lon Chaney Jr. brought to screen 70 years ago. They're gonna get this. And this is not what.
In his defense, like, I've heard that, like, the overall, like, opinion is this movie isn't shit. It's
not
just,
shit.
like, it's so bland. It's like, what?
And
like,
when
it's
you're
just,
looking
like,
at the
why
source
is this
material, like, it's just, it doesn't. I don't think it tried to compare, but it's just, it doesn't. It's not what the source material deserves, in my opinion, and what a lot of people say. I trust James Rolfe's opinion from Cinemassacre 100%, and he agrees with me completely, and I don't see it. Even I'm going to see the movie. No, they made a good point too. The next movie, I'm going to see it, no matter what. I'm going to see this mummy
The
movie.
next movie is Bride of Frankenstein,
Which-
directed by Bill Connon, who did what you call it, Beauty and the Beast live action.
Yes.
So I've seen that movie and I liked it a lot, so I think it has potential.
And really, The Bride of Frankenstein is my masterpiece movie, and it's my favorite of the entire Universal trilogy series, classic monster series. And that movie, when I heard the reviews for The Mummy, I was scared for this movie.
I knew for a fact it was either going to be like trash
No.
or like good.
I was
Like,
scared.
Really, really good.
I was scared for Bride. I don't know how they're gonna
so
do
far
it.
though, I'm fucking
And
pumped
apparently, in The Mummy, they put they have like this scene where like they have jars and they have jars with a skull with fangs,
Yeah, I
and
know.
they have
Yeah.
the creature from the Black Lagoon's hand. Like, you need to chill out. Like, focus on The Mummy. I don't want to see all of this connecting shit yet. You need to
be like Iron
like,
Man. Like
The
that-
Universal series started by introducing us to each monster and then doing the crossover stuff. And that's what made those movies great, is they can be standalone movies. You just need to introduce The Mummy and then handle all the crossover stuff later. Like, it's
Well,
just
yeah.
they're going all about this the wrong way, I feel like. And that's just, and with the Bride, I have heard in some articles I just recently read that they're learning from The Mummy and they're trying to take it into a much different direction. Which I hope they do.
it's like the DCEU, what they're doing over there. Like it's
Yes,
more
correct.
reception for the first 3 movies for the most part, and then like they changed it up for Wonder Woman, it seems, and then of course they're changing it up for Justice League. So they're hoping to get better like word of mouth and all that now. But that's what they're probably doing with this, where they're going to go more with the horror take, which I believe they will, and that's what they should do.
And I think that's what they should do, and they should capture the essence. So with the Mummy, why the whole Dark Universe thing, why it doesn't sell to me, is because we live in this age of remakes.
It's true.
Why remake these timeless classics when you can just make things like what are some good examples
Of what?
of movies that aren't remakes but they're retellings or their next entry
Bram Stoker.
or their next entries in the series? Give me a
Evil
movie.
Dead.
Yes, give me a movie,
Not as good as the original, but it's
Yeah,
like
yeah,
it
yeah.
builds on it.
but it builds on. It's exactly. Give me a movie that's not titled The Mummy and it's a flat out remake and reimagining. Give me
Well,
a
again,
movie.
It's in the it's in the same universe as the Mummy, but not like the old one, like the Brendan Fraser. I know that.
I've seen that, but I think it was just supposed to be like,
I don't think it was like a hit of blah, blah, blah. I don't think it was like fun. I think it was like, hey, this is like the same universe. That's what I think.
I think it's for the exact opposite. Why would they include those? in there?
We'll do some little research on that.
Fine.
And also, so anyways, building on this, if they would have taken this direction as having it either be something totally different, like, okay, so what we were discussing earlier was like not a remake, but maybe a next entry in the same universe as the originals, or have a movie that is not a remake, but essentially a retelling that pays serious homage to the old ones. Even making this new movie black and white and shooting it in like the same style.
Dude, shoot it on film.
On film, and having it be black and white and just paying serious just homage to all of the classics from The Bride of Frankenstein to The Mummy's Hand. Like, just all of these movies, they should do that. And another thing is that I hear The Mummy's actress, really good actor, just the script is not there.
The script is a mess.
I feel like she's probably wasted.
And
No, she's a
she's
good
wasted,
actress.
and I really didn't like the design of this
I
monster.
don't like it either. I like
Didn't
the fact
really
that
dig
they
it.
like the other like mummy like creatures.
Oh yeah, definitely.
That in the trailer, that's
Those were the one thing that I was like, wow, this could be the saving grace of this movie. No, I mean, but I haven't seen it yet. But like overall, this movie can't really be saved for me because of how big of a fan I am of the originals. But
I think the universe has potential.
So okay, so let's talk about what you think, Chris, is coming for the future of this. Because in my opinion, I honestly would have started with Black Lagoon, because you introduce the idea of two things. You can introduce Van Helsing, and you can introduce Jekyll. And the whole point of that movie. No, wait. The whole point of that movie could have been, oh God, Van Helsing has to hunt down another monster. He brings it back to Jekyll towards the end, and they're like, well, fuck, this is an entry into a whole other universe of all these monsters. So then they're like, okay, what else do we have to look for? That's that type of movie. And then you can even do stuff of, we heard reports of, there's something about a mummy happening. Then you bring in, oh shit, we've got pictures of Brendan Fraser's character and the shit that he dealt with. Now you bring all of that in, and then you start it. Because then you can bring in Van Helsing, they can talk about, well, I've hunted vampires, I've hunted all this. What is this? Swamp creature? What is this?
yeah,
And then you can jump into, oh shit, well now we've heard that they've uncovered a new pyramid. You need to go check that out. And then you bring in the mummy. And then you can talk about, oh shit, you don't have to make it Dracula. You don't have to make it Dracula.
Yeah.
You can bring in, oh now the vampires are coming back. And then you can slowly bring in, oh, we've had reports of giant wolves.
And when does this movie take place? The Mummy.
Modern day.
That's another problem.
Why is that a problem? It's
I
different.
think
it's different. Like,
I think it's a big problem because
I have to disagree because I think because my plan that I just laid out, you can make that modern day.
You can easily
now
make that
the
modern
thing
day.
with I understand that you could, but
it's not my aesthetics.
yeah, but that too, and also the thing about all these monsters is they have one thing in common besides the creature, and maybe the Invisible Man. They're gothic horror stories. They're meant to be in a gothic setting of
I agree.
Victorian London or Victorian whatever, just this in the late 1800s, early 1900s. The Mummy with Brendan Fraser did right by setting it in the 1920s. Even then, that works. That works well.
Yeah.
And it's not, you don't have technology everywhere.
Chris, all I'm saying is any movie or any idea can work well if it's written correctly.
It can, but
that's the thing. Like, you just need to wait. Wait for, like, some future movie could make you turn differently to this subject. Like,
yeah.
That's all I'm saying. Like, also think of it like this, too. Even though these are, like, remakes of your sort, you still have your old movies. So, if anything, you'll get a good movie out of it, and you don't even have to acknowledge this Mummy movie.
Give me your idea of what's going to be in the future lineup, because we don't know that far ahead.
So, obviously Javier Bardem's going to play the monster, I think.
No, he is the monster. That's good.
But Javier Bardem, if he's going to play the monster, they need to cake the makeup on good. Like I think they need to do a spectacular job with his makeup.
They need to I think they're going to go for the route of make him look more like John Clare from
More human?
Well, I know. Take this with as you will. I know you like the old stuff, but green guy with bolts in his neck is not going to fly anymore.
You have to do
and the old monster is supposed to look like long hair. He's supposed to be all decrepit,
He is.
That's how he's supposed to look.
I understand, but I don't want to see. I know you like this movie a lot, but I don't want to see Robert De Niro's.
I don't like that movie. I like the movie, but
I don't like his design.
I don't either. That's the one thing I don't
I
like
think
about that movie.
He needs to look like the original, but not exactly like it. Maybe not the bolts.
This is what he needs to look like. Bernie Wrightson did a graphic novel of Frankenstein, and it looks immaculate.
I
he has
agree
long
with that.
hair, and he's all stitched together, and he's like a big guy, but he's not the 30s movie. Because that will not fly with these modern audiences.
I think there are only a few.
Especially with all this color and whatnot.
Yeah.
No, there's only
Which is why I think they should have done these movies in black and white. That's just my opinion. They should have captured the essence.
No,
and the style
I agree
of
that
it.
could have worked.
Yeah, but
That could have worked beautifully.
They want these movies to be blockbusters, and people will probably
And
want to see
these movies, when you make them blockbusters, they turn into Marvel and superhero movies with action, not horror.
It's
That's
fine.
the thing.
It's okay. You can have action, but your ground base should be horror, which it should be. Like,
We all
But it
agree
doesn't
that's a
turn into
mistake.
that.
We all agree that was a
we
mistake of this
agree.
movie.
It should be
Yes.
more horror, but you can have the action and make it a blockbuster as a film.
And I hope that they call this movie something else besides The Bride of Frankenstein.
It's going to be
What they're
called
gonna
The
call
Bride
it.
of Frankenstein.
I just think that's a
Or
mistake.
something like Frankenstein's Bride or
Something else.
different.
Something else. like Frankenstein, something
I
else.
I agree, but it's gonna be called Bride of Frankenstein.
Which is unfortunate, and they're already falling into those same tropes if they do that. I'm just saying.
Again, there's only a few things they need to do for this universe to make it better than it is. One, more horror elements.
Get
Two,
new writers.
make it more connected, better writers, because they have some connection, but I want this world to be really connected, like a legit universe. It'd be cool. So that means get Van Helsing in here. That's like that would.
But I don't want to see other monster things. Like I don't want to see the creature's hand. I don't want to see vampires like a skull with fangs. Like just focus on the bride.
That's fine. You can focus on that, but eventually like have
And
some movie where
Frankenstein.
they all like there's some like have Van Helsing
Also,
there. Like
so the Bride of Frankenstein was the second, as everybody knows. Will the the monster already be created at this point?
Yeah, everyone knows Frankenstein's mom. Everyone knows that story.
So they're just skipping it,
Which
which I like. I don't
It's
think
But
they-
in the universe, will the creature? So I know Frankenstein.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, in the original one, in the Bride of Frankenstein from the 30s, the monster is believed to be dead, and Frankenstein has no idea the monster still exists until like halfway through the movie where he sees him and he's horrified that he's still alive. So will the monster be present with Frankenstein or what?
I mean, I think Frankenstein will be in the movie.
We
But-
don't have an actor playing Dr.
Not
Frankenstein.
yet. Not yet.
Not yet. Who do you think, in your opinion, maybe? I haven't even started thinking about Dr. Frankenstein.
I love the guy from Penny Dreadful, but that wouldn't make any sense to put.
No, and I think he should be. I think he should take from
Here's the thing:
the past ones.
They're doing.
I was gonna say James McAvoy, but he already is in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yeah.
I think he'd be good, honestly. But-
I think Charles Dance could play Van Helsing or Frankenstein, either one.
They wouldn't make him Van Helsing because they want Van Helsing to be part of action scenes, and Charles Dance is 80 years old.
I think they could really do Dr. Frankenstein.
He could be Dr. Frankenstein.
He could be Dr.
He
Frankenstein.
captures all of the creatures I'm looking for.
And so, and then they are gonna. Well, if they're gonna do Charles Dance, would they make Frankenstein in the past, and like have Frankenstein's monster still be alive?
They could do that.
But that would mean Dr. Frankenstein wouldn't be alive during this series.
Yeah, I mean that makes
they
sense.
could do a flashback.
But they
or
could
some
put him in
shit.
flashbacks and stuff, like the monster remembers.
I don't know about that
I'm
though. It could work. No, that could work. But
Because then you get your element.
he's such a key part
I know.
of this old universe.
You'll have your old movies. This is new. Let it be new. Let it be
I'm
different.
letting it
Because
be
you can get
different.
some good movies out of it, possibly. That's new. That's all. Because you have your past movies. You'll be fine. It's just there's one main thing they need to do for this universe, though. They need to cast Michael Fassbender as Dracula or someone, because Dracula
As Dracula would be perfect.
Honestly, if they had Dr. Frankenstein, I think
Because
he'd be good as
with
him, too.
with Michael
Just be crazy.
Fassbender, I don't see, like what you said. You don't see the original design for the monster flying. My vision of Michael Fassbender as Dracula is essentially him in an old, like the iconic Dracula
That's
costume.
fine. That works.
Nothing
That
like
works. That works.
nothing modernized. Like just
That works.
I see him.
That
as
He's
like-
immortal,
That
so
works.
it makes sense. He just keeps his Victorian style.
And if he really wants to, if he wants to
But-
go somewhere in public,
But
he can
so
put on a
was your
suit or something.
so you don't have a problem with the costume being the same. You just don't think the makeup of the original monster would fly. Just
Yeah.
the monster.
I'm saying
Yeah,
in those
now-
movies he looks cool, but like nowadays it wouldn't.
Also,
make
you start to see if you rewatch the original Frankenstein and Bride of Frankenstein, you start to see how tragic of a character he really is.
I'm not arguing like that. I
He-
like him being tragic.
So
yes.
I wish they would carry that on. He cries 2 times in
Yeah.
Bride of Frankenstein when he's talking to the blind man, and right before he pulls the lever and destroys the castle when like the bride is hissing at him. She hates him. I want also this other thing. I want the bride. I don't want a love story.
No.
I want the bride to be horrified by him.
The thing is,
I want the bride to be beautiful, because Dr. Frankenstein has perfected his. I want him to perfect his skills and make her beautiful and capture the essence of the old monster, how she's beautiful, and have him be horrifying. Like
Yeah.
they kind of did that in a sense with Penny Dreadful, how
Yeah.
she's beautiful and John Clare is horrifying.
Yeah.
I want them to do that in the same way that Universal
They
did.
captured the theme of like the tragedy
Yeah.
of John Clare. Beautiful.
Yes, they did. And when he creates the bride, I want her to be horrified, and then I want her. In the original, she's like a newborn baby. Like she can't talk
That's
or
like
function.
Penny Dreadful.
Yes, and she can't. She looks at things and is sensing things, and she hisses and like makes these stuttering noises that are like these vocal like clicks almost, and it's so fascinating, and I want them to capture that same thing, like where she's
I don't think they will. I think it's gonna be all this modern feel.
Yeah, but it'll depend on how they do it and all.
Yeah,
But
so
it's
like in the end,
but I just in a sense I don't want her to fall in love with the monster. I want her to.
I think they're gonna start
I
out.
think
She
there's a
likes
chance
him,
of
and then
it.
it
Really?
falls out.
There's a
Yeah.
chance of it happening because
I think I think it's just that's the beginning of the story. She like likes him because it's like she feels connected.
And
to
also,
him, but
you guys, if you haven't seen The Bride of Frankenstein, the bride is only in the last 15 minutes of the movie.
that's not gonna be how it is.
Yeah.
she's gonna be in the
She's
whole
only like in the last 20, 15 minutes. Like she's not a big. The whole movie's about creating this mate for the monster, but she doesn't get created until 15 minutes in.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's not gonna be what it is.
Yeah, but
So
well, I expected that.
Yeah, but basically, you can expect a lot more from the Dark Universe from us.
Mhm.
I believe so, especially when we hear more information about what's to come.
we'll give you more Dark Universe stuff after Comic Con. So look for that in our
Look for
Comic Con
that.
review.
Make sure to check the description
Yeah.
below.
And also look for as October rolls around, I'm gonna be reviewing
Yeah.
all these classic monster movies.
So
So-
you'll be able to reference back once all.
Yeah,
of
look for these classic reviews, and that'll be coming for more discussion for me and as
Yeah.
this Dark Universe progresses.
Indeed. Slap that like button, slap the subscribe button, slap those nuts, baby. And now,
Always nuts.
for the slapping reviews, as always, I'm Schnook.
And I'm Chris.
Ridley.
I'm Josh.